What a pleasure it is for me to be with you today and to be speaking up here on the platform. Thank you so much, Reverend Martin, for inviting me to do that. I wanted to be here today for those that Reverend Cindy and I did teach in classes and up through Practitioner 1. And I also love the assignments that Reverend Martin gave me, because I get to talk to you about spiritual mind treatment briefly, and then to actually install the new practitioners. Such a pleasure it is. For those of you who do not know me, along with Reverend Cindy, we did bring this center with the help of so many others back to life. And then we're going to be tired from that. And Reverend Cindy lives locally, so you just had the blessing of her and Paul whenever they're in town between their trips. And I am with you in spirit. I'm attending the Ocala Center once a month, and I live 80 miles from here, so I don't get here very often. It was probably a year ago that I was last here on a Sunday. I'd like to read some words of Ernest Holmes that speak to what treatment is. Treatment is based on the assumption that there's a spiritual pattern at the center of everything. The perfect was always here. It was implanted by spirit. The imperfect has been added by the human mind. What the human mind has put there, it can take away. What the divine has implanted cannot be uprooted. It can only appear to be covered up. Spiritual mind practice is an uncovering of that divine nature. So whether it's a problem that we have that we would like a healing, whether it's a physical ailment that we'd like treatment for, whether it's a dream of our heart that's not manifested yet in our lives, spiritual mind treatment can take us there. Because the truth is that divine perfection, and if something's overlaid it's a thing of thought, it's a human thing, and what thought has created, thought can remove. And so spiritual mind healing, spiritual mind practice is an organized way of praying so that we allow that perfection of the infinite to flow into our experience of life. It has 5 steps, as we've been teaching it over the years, and they make all kinds of sense if we think about them one at a time. The first is we recognize that God's all there is. Is everywhere present, has created everything that exists in the universe. It has wonderful attributes of peace, of joy, and wholeness, of divine activity, of harmony, of love. And if we put our attention on that, we have a firm foundation for our building that to have it expressed more fully in our lives. So the first step is to recognize infinite spirit and his power. The second step is to know that if God's everywhere present, then right where I am, right where you are, God is. There's no spot where God is not. And so those qualities of the divine must be right where we are, even if we've forgotten it. And then we move on in the third step of the treatment to get specific about the thing we're praying for. If we're praying for a physical healing, for us to remember this idea that Ernest Holmes says so clearly here, that there's a spiritual pattern at the center of us. And that spiritual pattern is perfection. And as we put our attention on that and know the truth of that, it has an opportunity to come forth even if we've covered it over for years. And then, of course, we don't do anything. We simply know the truth. And so the fourth step is to get ready to let it go and allow that spiritual law that creates everything to do the work. And so we give thanks that it's already happening, and then we release it unto the law. Now, as Reverend Cindy said, and Reverend Martin indicated also in his talk this morning, that we can get so busy in our own thinking that we've so covered over that which we would like healed in our life, or that dream that seems to be eluding us in our life, that we could practitioner is. Those prayer practitioners, and they're all listed on the back of your program for this center now. Isn't that a wonderful list? You can call on any of them when you put your prayer request in the box or online at OCSL's website. All of these practitioners will be praying for you the week you put in the prayer request. They'll be knowing that truth when it's difficult for you to know it for yourself. What a blessing spiritual mind treatment is, and I agree with Reverend Cindy, I think it's our movement's largest gift to the world. And then that we have folks that have been trained so thoroughly that they can be that knowing presence in your life and help you along the way to have fulfilled dreams, healings, blessings for yourself, for your family. Plus, it's fun to pray this way. So, having said that, we're ready now.